Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. Government of Trinidad and Tobago told to be upfront with the public and stop sugarcoating the state of the economy. This story takes the lead in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Thursday, 8th September 2022. Details when we return.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Welcome back. The government is told to stop painting a pretty picture of a positive economic outlook for Trinidad and Tobago and tell the people that there are challenges ahead. That's the perspective of Dr. Roger Hossain, economist and lecturer at the University of the West Indies. Dr. Botawari, former government minister with the People's Partnership, and Karen Nunez Teixeira, former government minister with the Patrick Manning PNM administration. More from TV6's Nicole M. Ramani.
According to economist Dr. Roger Hossain, the finance minister attempted to shape a particular perspective during his presentation at Spotlight on the Economy. However, Dr. Hossain says crucial information was withheld from the public.
What the Minister of Finance did is he tried to use an internal devaluation by, he may not call it that term, but he tried to control demand, which he had to in the context of the Depression, as Karen mentioned. And very much in the benefit of Trinidad and Tobago economy, the real effective exchange rate depreciated 4.5%. But what he didn't say, and when I took the data and I disaggregated it myself, and I divided it into non-energy, non-tradable, and non-energy tradable. And what you want is the ratio of non-energy, non-tradable over non-energy tradable to be falling.
Dr. Hossain also reveals that he was taken aback by the country's recovery rate as announced by Minister Imbert.
At the end of the day, the minus 1% economic growth for 2021 really shocked me for zero. I mean, I expect all the economies in the world are on the recovery, all. We ranking 60th worst performing in the world in 2021 after having plunged 7.4%, I believe, in 2020. If Lara makes 0, 1, and 2 in an innings, it's very easy to make 5, 6, or 7 in the next innings. And so, having crumbled in 2020 because of the pandemic, I really expected stronger growth in 2021.
Minister Imbert said the country is on the road to recovery, but former Minister Karen Nunez Teixeira says she isn't buying it. She says there are many questions still to be answered.
So what's important for them, for the government to do, is to be more sober in its pronunciations and to not give this, because people are becoming wary of it. They're becoming more alive to the issues. So I think it will be difficult for them to give a narrative that does not speak to the truth. What they need to do is now come with solutions that they're going to implement and for us to see that implementation.
She believes the government has lost the faith and trust of the people.
The whole thing that keeps an economy going well is consumer confidence. And if you have lost the consumer confidence and you look at what is happening in the larger economy, larger citizenry, then you understand the politics is not working. For the politics to work, you have to have some wins. And what they do not have is a lot of subterfuge, a lot of obfuscation, and a lack of confidence. So nobody wants to hear what they have to say.
And former Planning Minister Dr. Botawari tells TV6 the government needs to be more upfront with the population.
I would say that we suffered as citizens from receiving a presentation with a lot of political spin, a lot of self-congratulation, and an understatement of the formidable challenges that we have as a country and as an economy.
He reiterates that it is time for the state to dedicate resources and efforts in areas other than oil and gas. He says the world food crisis will get worse and food production should be a priority. While addressing the spotlight on the economy on Friday, the finance minister said the economy of Trinidad and Tobago was now enjoying a strong recovery, but he still advised caution as future developments and global events could affect local revenues. Nicole M. Romani, TV6 News.
In the meantime, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and David Cassidy, Chief Executive of Proman, travelled from Zurich, Switzerland to the company's office in Dusseldorf, Germany on Tuesday. TTT News has some details.
The meeting was held with a view to exploring opportunities for further development in Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. Rowley and Minister of Energy and Energy Industries and Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Stuart Young, received detailed presentations surrounding Proman's technology and innovation approach and its applicability to the local industry. According to the Office of the Prime Minister, future projects, including proposals related to upstream gas projects and proposals related to carbon capture utilization and storage, featured heavily at today's talks. Prime Minister Rowley will travel to London tomorrow, where he is expected to meet with executives from VP on Thursday morning.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
Cuban nationals who entered Belize illegally and without passports have been ordered returned to their homeland of Cuba.
Chief Magistrate Sharon Fraser has issued removal orders for 16 Cuban nationals who allegedly entered the country last Thursday. The Cuban nationals who were without passports claimed they were seeking asylum in the Cayman Islands but accidentally ended up in Belize when their boat ran out of gas and drifted ashore after experiencing bad weather. But the magistrate questioned how these Cubans could travel from their homes to another country without any passports. Attorney Erson Hellerington, who represented 9 of the Cubans, asked the magistrate to use her discretion and not impose a prison term against them, arguing that there was not enough evidence to prove that they came to Belize intentionally. 2 men among them pleaded guilty, while the remaining 7 said that they were not sure how to plead. One Cuban informed Magistrate Fraser that while they did not come to Belize with any passports, they also did not want to come to Belize. However, one of the Cubans, a woman, changed her story and claimed that they were seeking asylum in Belize, while 2 others claimed that their documents were left in the Cayman Islands after they were denied asylum. After the Immigration Department told the court they were not seeking a fine against the Cubans, Chief Magistrate Fraser used her discretion and did not fine them, but later ordered that they be sent back home.
4 children of school age suffered a house fire at their home after their father allegedly lighted a candle after a power outage in some part of Jamaica. Only 1 of the children survived and is likely to be sent abroad for emergency rehabilitation and care.
The 14-year-old girl who was severely burnt in the house fire in Springfield, Westmoreland, which claimed the lives of her 3 brothers, will have to seek treatment overseas. According to her father, who was speaking with the Education Minister Favour Williams and MP for Western Westmoreland Moreland Wilson on Monday, this is because of the severity of the burns. It's understood that she was transferred to a hospital in the corporate area on Monday and is to be flown overseas for treatment. The single father, who has been hailed by the community for his outstanding work in raising the children, is now clinging on to hope that his daughter will survive the ordeal. In the meantime, he has found a way to deal with the traumatic experience. Education Minister Favour Williams says help will be provided to the family through the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. According to the Jamaica Fire Brigade, the official cause of the fire is still not known. However, the police believe that the fire may have been started by a candle which was lit due to a power outage in the community Sunday night. Herman Green, TVJ News.
A noted psychologist in the Bahamas, Dr. Wayne Thompson, weighs in on the apparent rise in suicides in that country.
Well, there's every indication that suicides are on the rise in the country, with the latest occurring just this past weekend at a construction site on Cable Beach. Just days earlier, the lifeless body of a 41-year-old young man was found in bushes off Johnson Road. These 2 incidents alone indicative of what's been happening in recent years. Police stats show that in 2020, there were 11 apparent suicides compared to the 8 recorded in 2019. Psychologist Dr. Wayne Thompson says mental health issues coupled with other factors can force a person to take his or her own life.
Feeling that their life is worthwhile, not feeling like they have a place, a purpose, or meaning in life. This usually results in a depressive state, and the psychological complications of depression causes an individual to want to get rid of that feeling relationships. One of the most dangerous things for an individual to do is to make another human being their foundation. And so if something goes wrong and that person pulls out, the individual's entire world collapses.
Dr. Thompson says dozens of Bahamians walk into his office daily seeking counseling, having hit several roadblocks, in the process losing their self-worth. If you're in an apparent dead-end situation, Dr. Thompson strongly urges you consider this.
If someone is experiencing deflation, abandonment, loss of income, feeling out of sorts and not really wanting to continue living, if you're not comfortable speaking to a family member, I strongly advise you to seek someone who is confidential, who you can express your thoughts to. What is best is to seek professional intervention.
Marital rape issue surfaces in Supreme Court divorce case in the Bahamas. More in this ZNS News item.
The ruling was not necessarily about marital rape. That's a criminal offense.
On Monday, Supreme Court Judge Denise Lewis Johnson handed down a ruling in a divorce case indicating that there is no rape in marriage under Bahamian law. This after a woman claimed her husband would force her to have sexual relations that made her feel like a rape victim throughout the course of their 15-year marriage. She also argued, among other things, that her husband subjected her to emotional and mental abuse. The husband denied the allegations, charging that he wanted the marriage dissolved and his wife had treated him with cruelty by not meeting his sexual needs, not attending church regularly, and refusing to attend marriage counseling with him, adding that, among other things, he met the family's financial needs along with loyalty, fidelity, and commitment. After hearing submissions from both sides, the judge granted the divorce petition after finding the actions of a husband who repeatedly forced himself on his wife were cruel. Justice Lewis Johnson also found that while rape is a most heinous act of cruelty and a malicious violation of a person, pursuant to Section 3 of the Sexual Offenses Act, the law does not allow for one spouse to rape the other. She further noted that we cannot and must not succumb to the temptation to reform laws.
Hubbard's is once again innovating the way you shop with its new online store, providing 24-hour shopping convenience. You can shop now for appliances, hardware, houseware, building material, and more. Free delivery island-wide. Start shopping now at hubbardshardware.gd. Safe, convenient, reliable.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.